And we are recording. Did you know mules live 50 years? I didn't know that till today.
I also learned that today.
Fun facts brought to you by the fact that I'm not talking into my microphone.
Oh, am I talking into my microphone? Oh, yes, I am. We're good.
Glad to be here again. What is this, episode six?
Five, six?
5 or 6?
5, 6? I don't
Depending
know.
on which ones we put up. I feel like the ones we're
This may just be
skipping,
number one.
this could be number one. Hey, welcome for the very first
You know what?
time.
Don't even worry about the number they are. Just know that it's happening. It's there. It's a thing.
Well, I'd like to keep track at least. I mean, I am keeping track in the background, but it's really not that important.
And now
Is
we're going
this-
to reach our ASMR segment.
Is this conversation engaging to everybody?
Hello. How are you doing?
Bad. I'm doing bad.
Why?
Well, I just had the hot ghost pepper wings from Popeyes.
Oh yeah, the ghost pepper wings from Popeye.
In a word, disappointing.
Very disappointing, actually. I only had one. He had 5, but
Yeah.
if you've been following us as you should, you would have seen that we have eaten actual ghost pepper.
Yes, it was nothing like it. I
No.
tasted ghost pepper once. Spice level about on par with movie theater jalapenos.
Yeah, it was not much hotter than a jalapeno.
It was. I would be if I was Popeye, the Sailor Man. I would be embarrassed.
I don't think that's
Wait,
the mascot.
is Popeyes based off of? Yeah, I'm gonna.
I don't think it's based on the
goo or whatever he says.
First of all, that's Quagmire.
They're like the same guy.
I don't think that they're based off of him because his whole thing was spinach.
Yeah. You don't think at some point Popeyes had spinach? Then why would they call themselves Popeyes?
Why does anybody call themselves what they call themselves?
Well, McDonald's makes sense because that was the guy's last name, wasn't
Okay,
it?
what about Burger King?
Well, that's where the king of the burgers is.
Okay,
And when you go to Popeyes, what do you get at Popeyes?
chicken.
Flowers?
Where do you get flowers from?
A poppy.
You know, we're gonna continue on now.
Okay, all right. Just disregard.
I will say that the ghost pepper, at least for me, was very notorious. It was very I had a very intimate experience with the ghost pepper.
Intimate is putting it lightly, yeah.
And those were just like really small ones too.
Well, the size doesn't matter.
That's also true. But it wasn't so much the heat that hurt me. It was the what's the word? The duration that it was there.
Yeah. Well, supposedly it's supposed to peak at like 6 minutes. And if
Oh.
you look at the actual tape, it did approximately peak at about the 6 minute mark.
Yeah, and that it burned.
The
for,
unfortunate
like,
thing for you was that your reaction to it was a lot more vehement, perhaps. Something with a V.
That's a big word.
Definitely an
Viscous.
adjective with a V.
That's
No,
definitely not the right one.
you're going in the wrong
Voluminous.
directions. Violent, maybe, might be the right word.
I think violent is a very good word here.
It
Volatile.
happened quick. And of course, we can chalk it up to the fact that we had wine, which apparently you have found out you're not very good with.
Yeah, I'm not good with
Like, your
wine.
stomach just doesn't seat wine very well.
Mm-mm.
So I think it was a mixture of wine, ice cream, and hot peppers that you were unprepared for. So it's really a wonder that I didn't vomit, because I also have not ever drank wine and then ate ice cream. But
That's
it wasn't
also
ice
true.
cream, was it?
No, it was.
It
Was
was.
it ice cream? No, it was frozen yogurt.
I think it was. I think it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
And I think that's probably a good thing that it was frozen yogurt, because if it was actual ice cream, it probably would have went a lot worse for me.
It would have come out of both ends. Yeah. Rather than just the one.
Yeah, no, it would have been awful.
Yep. At least it didn't come out of all three. Yeah,
3.
Nose was the third one.
Yes,
This is a family
Nose.
show.
Yeah,
Think.
I mean we've talked about very not
Yeah,
family-friendly
I think
topics
we've
before.
dropped a couple of bombs in various locations, but you know what?
I mean, I've also called you. I've also used the word you're a bitchium. You've
That's
called me
true.
an ass.
Well, all right.
Um,
Very tame, swears. Yeah.
yeah. See you in hell.
Again, very tame.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think we've dropped the bomb in
I
any
think we're PG.
videos
We're
yet,
PG-13. Yeah.
except for the death video with the pepper.
That one, yes.
That was
a peek behind the curtain.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
Lamb a la John unhinged.
Yep.
Welcome to Jedi.
Ill-advised. Do you regret it? I don't regret it. I'll come out right in front and say I don't regret it.
The only thing I regret is that I wasn't able to hold it down, because the
Yeah.
the vomiting was probably the most painful part of it, or the second most painful. The most painful was the cramping that happened before the vomiting, because
The precursor. Yeah.
actually
You were
because
just
it
in
happened
hell for
before
about
and
23 minutes.
after, because it didn't get any better afterwards.
Yeah.
If you remember, because after I was able to, keep some of it down, I had to lay on the bathroom floor because I was just in so much pain.
Yep. And then you laid on my bed, and I think I took you home like almost immediately after that. She's like, "Take me home. Take me home."
Probably, yeah. Luckily, I don't think I threw up after that. I think it was only just here. But I
Yep.
did feel terrible. And when it finally came out, that was also painful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't as painful for you, if I remember correctly.
No, I mean it was mouth pain for me. It never touched my stomach.
Hmm.
Or not my stomach, but like my torso never really went down there. Like it was all, if I remember correctly, it was all in my ear,
That's right.
and then it was like mouth.
It
Yeah.
was your ear and like the side of your mouth, one side
Yeah.
of your mouth. That was fun.
It was a lot of fun, and I'm ready to try it again. Since that time, not try it again. I'm ready to move up because since that time I've done it I've done it twice more. Once with my cousin and once with my friend. Both times, I think I handled it with aplomb
With a
and
what?
gusto.
Okay.
Because the third time, I didn't even have any. I didn't have anything to help.
Mm-hmm.
Like the second time, I had eggnog. It was good to help. Yeah, very rich and rough though.
Yeah.
But the third time, totally raw. And the third time was the easiest.
You're
Not because
insane.
I don't even think it was because I'd had it before. Like it wasn't. It was like, oh yeah, what I need to do is do this to combat it. It was like the third time wasn't as bad
Yeah.
because it was I had nothing to help, so it was I have to push through it, and it became a mental game. It became a mind over matter, and I mind over mattered the shit out of that until we got popcorn. Then it got really bad.
Yeah, no. If you eat something afterwards, I don't think it's gonna help much.
Yeah, it was also very foolish to do it right before we went to a movie. Because I couldn't focus on the movie. Because I think that was the only time it like affected my stomach.
Mhm.
Because I did it on an empty stomach because we were going to eat popcorn for dinner,
Oh no.
right? And I, of course, very stupid of me to not do that because it burned like hell. I think that was when it most affected my stomach. Yeah.
Mhm.
But when we did it, no, that was bad. Not bad. But you don't really like spicy food, do you?
No, I'm not a huge fan of spicy food. But I am proud of myself that I powered through all of it, except for the last one. But I still ate it. I still swallowed it, and it was beginning to digest before it came back out.
Yeah.
But I've gotten further than a lot of people have already.
Yeah.
And I don't eat spicy food like that. I won't say I hate spicy food, but I'm not a fan of spicy food. So I just feel like, wow, I did that.
Yeah. And
So I'm cool.
you're feeling prepared to go tackle either a no longer dried ghost pepper, so a live one, / upgrade to a reaper, or even take the interstitiary. There's one in between the two of them. It's like a Trinidad scorpion, I think.
I don't know where that, but I said that.
I
Yeah,
recall.
totally.
I recall at the end, you said, "I'm never fucking doing this again."
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I can quote you on that.
I'm pretty sure I did say that.
So have we waited the customary amount of time for you to go, you know what? I recall that event with fond memories. Let's do it again.
I don't know.
We can change shit. We won't get wine.
I still have flashbacks to being kneeling over the toilet and projectile vomiting, and I just hear you in the background just gagging, just.
Yep.
Well, and I think that was also a really painful thing because when you throw up, you just and it just all comes out.
Yep.
My body said, "Oh no, we're getting this out whether you like it or not." So not only was I gagging when I threw up, I gagged, and then it like the force of the gag caused an even deeper gag, which caused the throw up, and so it was a painful experience.
Yeah, we'll put a warning at the beginning of this. It's just like don't eat or drink anything before you listen.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, listen. I guess I'm willing to do a non-dry ghost pepper.
You won't die.
No, I don't think
I
I
can
mean,
guarantee
I
it.
made it past that one.
Yeah. Yep.
Still alive somehow.
Yep.
But I am willing to do a I don't know what the opposite of dry is. A wet ghost
A
pepper.
wet pepper. I call it live. I don't think that's the correct term, but
Whatever you call it, I will.
yeah.
I'm willing to do that.
You
And
see,
then
it
we'll
goes
see what
that.
happens after
Then
that.
there's the Trinidad Scorpion. I think that's the next level, which is like 5 times as hot as the ghost pepper. Then there's the Reaper, which is I think 10 times as hot as the ghost pepper. So, but again, it's like a 10-minute thing. Though apparently the Reaper has a lasting effect of around 24 hours.
Yeah, we'll come back to that one in
Mm.
not the near future. But like I
Uh-huh.
said, I'll do a live ghost pepper for now, and I'll think about that other one in the middle.
Good deal. I'll order them
Oh, God,
sometime in the
I
next
wanna
month.
Whatever happened to the dry ghost pepper?
I took them with me down to my family,
Oh, okay.
and I had them down there with my cousin, and then I had the last one. I think there were, I forgot how many there were. There were like 10 in there.
Mm.
We had one, and then we each had one, so there was 2, 4, 6. So I don't know actually what happened to those last 4 because I didn't throw them away.
Mhm.
Honestly, they might be in my backpack,
Probably
but I
expired right
probably
now.
threw them away. Well, they're dried; they would never expire.
I don't know about
Theoretically.
never.
They're like honey, never expires.
Okay.
Plus, imagine a bacteria capable of eating that thing. And then imagine us not being world dominated by that. So
That's fair. I mean, we haven't been dominated by cockroaches yet.
yeah, but they're too small. Germs?
Right now.
Well, okay, if you think about germs,
Mhm.
just because they're small doesn't mean they're not deadly.
Okay, that's fair.
But a cockroach? What's it gonna do? Bite you? It's that size.
If cockroaches can
it's-
bite, I'd be even more terrified.
They can bite.
Don't put that on my head. Stop it. It's fine. We're gonna move on.
They can
Shut
fly
up.
too.
Shut up. I know they can fly.
You know what we need to watch? Damnation Alley. I don't know if I've talked to you about
What
this.
is that?
This is the movie that I didn't even know what it was until the only memory that I have of this is me as like 6-year-old, 8-year-old, maybe somewhere around there. My dad watching it on our TV late at night. I went to the bathroom or something and then heard the TV, and like snuck out to go and watch it with him, or sit way behind him and watch it from a distance because of course I was supposed to be in bed at the time. And I remember this scene vividly, even to this day, I still remember this scene. It's a dude in a car, right? From looking at it now, I've learned what the context of the scene was. That there's this, it's the world has ended, nuclear apocalypse. Everybody hit launch on their missiles, and then there's this fallout, and various things have survived and mutated and become, the apex predators. Humans are no longer the apex predator, right? And one of them that has survived are cockroaches, but they're radiation cockroaches. They're still small, but they eat people now. And so what I remember from this scene is there's these people, they're outside of a building. It's like a dude and then the damsel in distress and I think somebody else, and they like run to this car that's parked nearby, right? They're running away from something. I don't know because I haven't watched the movie yet. I'm waiting for the opportune moment. But they run to this car and they get in the car, and then the car won't start or something like that. And they're like, oh my god, we can't start the car. And it's these 3 people, right? It's the dude, the girl in the front seat, and then their third companion in the back. And the dude and the girl are like, oh my god, the car won't start. And then you see from outside, right, army of cockroaches is closing in on this thing, right? The ground is turning black with cockroaches.
Oh my god.
And they're looking out and they're like, oh no, oh god. And so the 2 people in the front get out of the car and run for it. But the third dude is like child locked in the car. And it's just like, hey, let me out of the car. And they're running for it. And the cockroaches like are ignoring them because they see, trapped meat in this car. And they like climb in through the windows and they eat the dude alive
God.
as he's sitting in the car. And that's when I stopped watching. I don't even remember what happened after that. Like, I went back to bed, or my dad like heard me going, and went and got me and was like, dude, get out of here, dude, go to bed. But I still, that's the only movie that scarred me as a child.
Ironically, that sounds like a dream I had as a kid that I still remember. I'm not a dream, a nightmare. Because I'm I won't say I'm terrified of cockroaches, but I definitely have a hatred towards them. And if I see one of them, it really does ruin my day, especially if like it's in my living space.
It ruins your day?
Not my day.
You don't
but
just
it
go,
ruins
cockroach, crush, I'm out.
Well, I mean, it ruins my mood if I'm not able to kill it, because those things move fast. especially if it's on if you're not expecting them to be anywhere,
Yep.
and they just appear like, oh, damn, it's gone. Um,
Damn.
damn, but no, I had a dream that like I don't know how old I was, maybe like 8 or 9, somewhere in that time period.
Hmm.
That like I had went outside and I tripped and fallen in the street, but the street was moving. But it wasn't like moving like, oh wow, like moving in one direction. It was moving as in it was sentient. And what it was the street itself was just like a horde of cockroaches.
Oh,
And I was basically getting consumed by it and drowning in cockroaches. And it was terrifying.
that is.
And I
How old were
still
you?
remember I was in elementary school at the very least.
Eesh,
And
that's
that I
horrific.
don't know why, but that's something I still remember to this day. And I think that might fuel a little bit of my hatred slash fear towards cockroaches.
Probably.
Also, because there is when I was like in preschool, I think there was a cockroach that was like on the corner that's like where the wall meets the ceiling in my room, and I called my mom to come kill it. And my mom's a little lady. She's only 5 foot, and so she got a broom to try to smash it. And she told me to get out the room because she knows I was just gonna be in the way. And so I left the room. But then I came back in and I looked around the corner because my room had like a little hallway before it opens up into the room.
Sure.
And so I look around the corner, and as I look around the corner, my mom goes to swing the broom, and the cockroach says, "Oh, let me get out of here!" And it spreads its wings and it flies right towards my face. And I think that was my first traumatic experience with a cockroach.
Wow.
And I will never forget that day because I was terrified. And there was also the time where a cockroach ran across my feet, which was scary because it touched me, and I think they're really icky. But I think the most traumatic experience I had was I was a very messy kid growing up. I had a pretty messy room, and so I had saw a cockroach in my room, and I was like, "Oh God, oh no, I'm scared," because I was afraid of cockroaches. I'm not gonna
Of
lie.
course you were. Yep. Yep.
Shut up. And so it disappeared under my bed or something, and I would go, "Oh gosh, okay, this is okay, it's gone." So then the next day, I'm getting ready for school. I'm dressed. I got my stuff, and I'm about to put on my shoes, and I was like, "What if the cockroach is in my shoe?"
Mm.
One of my shoes, and I got scared, but I still put them on. You know, um, oh wait, oh I think right at this point it was in middle school because we had dropped off my sister to her elementary school, and then she was taking me to my middle school, and I feel something in my shoe. I'm like, "There's something in my shoe. There's something in my shoe," and we pull over, and I kick off my shoe, and there is that cockroach that disappeared from last night.
Wow.
Crawls right out of my shoe.
You called it. Wow.
It was just like, oh my God, how? Why me? I still remember that. I think I remember all my cockroach memories, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah, they stuck with you. Like the people that love bugs. I don't understand you.
I agree.
This is a message to all of you. You're wrong. I have yet to meet a bug that has had a good experience with me
Like at all? Like
at
any?
all. Like I mean, maybe like a stick bug.
The bugs are
That
pretty cool.
I mean, what do they do exactly? What do they? They just
They
wander
exist.
around.
This is what they do.
They wander around and eat leaves. Like great. That is awesome. I like that bug. But even ladybugs are evil. They bite you. They
They
will
do?
bite you for
I didn't
no
know that.
discernible reason.
Ooh, hold on, I gotta.
I've been bit by a ladybug before. It landed on my arm. We were doing the whole like, oh my god, look at the ladybug. Calm.
I think I got lucky. I think I've been lucky that I have a forest of arm hair whenever a ladybug landed on me, so I
Yep.
wouldn't have to worry about that. They just like crawl all on my arm hair. They can't get to my skin. But
Yeah, they land. It's a flick. Immediately. Yeah.
I had a friend growing up, and he was terrified of like he had like a legitimate fear of ladybugs, and I found that out, and I was like, dang, I could be a terrible person, and, like try to like order a thing of ladybugs to give to him for his birthday, but I won't do that. That's a little evil. Um, but no, the other like a few weeks ago, because for my windows always closed now because I used to have it open, but bugs would find their way in because my window would be open.
And we're in the middle of Texas. Yeah.
Yep, so I've been keeping my window closed. But even though it's closed, it's not sealed.
Mm.
In some places, so bugs are still able to get in, which I hate because for some reason ladybugs love my room. I've seen at least 3 in the last couple of weeks.
Hmm.
One of them was dead on my windowsill. another one was crawling on my bed, and then another one. This is not at the same time. And then another one was crawling on my headphones, which are on my bed. And so I was just like, it's not bothering me. I'll leave it alone. And this is at like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Hmm.
I was like, I'll just leave it alone, And I just push my headphones away from me. And so then, I turn later on in the night, I turn around to go to sleep because I like to sleep towards the wall. And so I'm sleeping on my side, just laying there trying to get to sleep. Next thing I know, I just feel a on my face, and the ladybug, and I'm pretty sure it was the ladybug that just like landed on my face or like fell on my face. And I have this thing where if a bug enters my personal space, I kind of freak out a little bit. And so I felt it hit my face, and or something hit my face, and I like tried to swipe it off, and I did, but I did it with that fear. And when when you're fearful, you don't know how much force you're putting into stuff.
Oh yeah.
And so when I did it, I didn't just swipe it off. I like literally slapped myself in the face, and I somehow, some way, also hit my eye. And for the next like 30 minutes, my eye was just like, oh fudge sickles, that
Yeah.
hurts. And like it was really itchy because I hit my eye, like not just like my closed eye, like my actual eye.
Oh yeah. You tapped your wetness.
Yep.
Yep.
And so
Rough.
that's the only really scary or traumatic experience I've had with a ladybug, but that was on my own fault. Now grasshoppers, hell no.
What? Grasshoppers aren't that bad.
Grasshoppers.
I was gonna bring up a list of bugs that I think are acceptable. Grasshoppers was on that list.
No, grasshoppers are huge, and they're heavy. When I back to elementary school, I hate bugs. Just if you haven't figured this out now, I have a
welcome to the
general
club.
hatred for
Yeah.
bugs.
If you like bugs, get out of here.
We can't
We're
be
gonna
friends.
we're gonna turn you upside down and swirl you.
No, it was I had PE early on or early that day for school or that year of school. I think it was at like 9 o'clock or something. The dew was still out pretty much though, like the dew in the grass. It was pretty early in the day, and so we were outside doing God knows what, and I think we're just walking around the playground or something, and this big ass grasshopper flew in right onto my leg.
What's an ass grasshopper?
Shut up. This huge grasshopper just like flew and landed on my leg, but to a small child, that thing is huge,
Yeah.
and it landed with so much force that it like actually hit my leg, and it terrified me. I guess I also just have a fear of flying bugs. So ever since that day, if I see a grasshopper on the ground, I can and will move out of the way so it doesn't start flying. Because I just don't like flying bugs.
Yeah, but those are utterly harmless.
That's what
If
they
it
want
was
you to
like a
think.
wasp, I would totally understand.
Yeah, no, wasps are
Because
terrifying as well.
Wasps are just evil entities
Mhm.
out to terrorize the world. There is no good in their hearts.
Yeah.
I think if I was given a genie wish, right, 3 wishes, even just one,
Get rid of
I
all the
think
roaches
my
in the
wish would
world.
be get rid of all the wasps. What do? What do they do that bumblebees don't do better? Give me bumblebees, get rid of wasps.
They kill other.
Maybe I'll do a
other
2-part.
bugs.
Well, yeah, they kill other bugs, but like bumblebees can do that too. And they make honey. What do wasps make?
Well,
Dirt
bees-
shit on the wall that you have to clean
Mhm.
off.
Yeah.
Dirt daubers? I don't know if your family and people call them dirt daubers, but that's what we call them. They're wasps that make dirt hovels.
Mhm.
And they live there. And they just terrorize people that come around. And it's not even like a regular wasp nest that's easy to remove because they pack that shit in.
Mhm.
You got to get like a scraper and they leave dirt residue on the walls. They're just evil. If we want to, okay, maybe they clean up the dirt and then they put it into one place. I can do that with a hose. Just spray it down. I don't like wasps.
I feel that.
There's
I
nothing good
understand
about I doubt there's anybody out there. There are beekeepers, right? Show me a wasp keeper, and I will show you a deranged man
that.
with nothing. There's something wrong. I'm not even
I'm
I'm not going to
sure
apologize to those
There's
of you that
people
like
who
wasps.
are wasp enthusiasts. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, maybe to collect their dead corpses and put in one of those glass cases. That's about as good as a wasp is.
I suppose.
They're like the apex predator because we can't do shit to them.
I mean, we can. But
We can slap them,
it's
but
in
if we
vain.
slap them, they're still going to sting us. They can make 50 of themselves in like a week.
Ooh. I mean, I guess the only good thing about the common wasp is that those aren't the ones with the really bad sting.
Well, we had yellow jackets where
Oh.
I lived.
Oh
We
no.
had the yellow ones and the red ones. So we just had angry shit all over the place.
Mhm.
Though where we lived, I'm not surprised. Like we had scorpions out the butt. We had scorpion season
Oh.
where like you'd see them walking. I haven't seen a single scorpion living up here.
I've
Not
never seen
one.
a scorpion in my life. Like
You've
except
never
for
seen a
like
scorpion?
except for like, like ones that are contained, like not out in the
Oh
wild
yeah,
before.
yeah. No, we'd see them all the time to the point where it's like you've seen like millipedes and centipedes, right? They like crawl across the floor, and you can be like, "Ah, damn it, another one of them got in here." You got to go get like a paper towel or something to clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
That was us with scorpions. Be like, "Oh, there's another scorpion. Keep the cats away. Somebody go get a shoe." We had to go and beat the shit out of it and then clean it up. Like we had a fire pit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where we throw stuff and burn it, make marshmallows and that kind of stuff. That I think my dad had built it, or maybe my grandpa had built it. Where half of it was sort of open, where we had like put posts in the ground and then put like a wooden plank over the top of it, so it was like a seat, right? That it was sort of like in a half triangle, like the bottom half was where the fire was, but on the opposite side, and there was an entrance at the end of that. On the opposite side was a circle of loose stones. Just stones piled on top of each other that you could sit on, and it was sturdy. It was a sturdy seat, but it was you didn't want to sit there. It was a breeding ground for every horrific, unimaginable creature.
Oh no!
Like we had to dig snakes out of there. We'd have to vet honestly, we didn't vet the pit before we went and started doing stuff. We were just like, hey, let's go make a fire. Yeah, let's go do, hey, don't worry about sitting on the rocks. If you get stung, just suck it up. It was like we should have gone in there with like a hose and insecticide before we went out there and just killed everything and then started the fire. Because there were snakes. We had brown recluses out there as well.
Oh.
Like we, as young children, we weren't allowed to go half of the garage, or not half of the garage, the back wall of the garage was basically two big storage units for all of like our stuff, like gardening supplies and outside kids' toys, and like there got to a point where we as young children weren't allowed to go over there. There were like wasps, there were spiders. It was like, don't go over there. If you need something from over there, wait till dad gets home and then he'll go get it for you, Like, yeah, he'll risk his life, It's nonsense. Bugs are, I don't understand. I don't understand. Daddy longlegs, we were infested with those things. What do they do? What do they do? They wander around and creep people out. What's the point of a daddy longleg? Apparently, I don't know. I think it was a myth, but that like they're really poisonous, but their mouths are too small to be able to bite you. I think that was a myth, but
I don't know.
It's like even if that was true, that just proves the point of why, Jesus, why did you go? I'm gonna make a tiny little bead and then give it 8 legs and let it walk around. Nobody questioned him like, why? Why would you do that? Nobody was like, I'm gonna make a wolf, right? And then that wolf is gonna be like a predator and it's gonna keep deers in check, right? Cool. Yeah, we're gonna have deers, right? The deers are gonna eat the plants, and the plants are gonna be able to repopulate themselves. So it goes plant, deer, wolf dies, makes more plants. Circle of life. And then he went, Daddy Longlegs. I'm gonna make what is effectively a removed mole.
Ew.
And then I'm gonna give it legs, and I'm gonna have them congregate in a big horde. Nobody went, why? What are they doing? What devious activities does a daddy longleg do? Somebody should follow one of those things around and just be like, this is the life. We need a BBC documentary of this is the life of a daddy longleg. What do they do all day? And it's like a 20-minute video where he falls around this thing that does nothing. I don't think they do anything. Are you looking it up? What are you doing? Look it up.
Oh,
we need that third person that's like, can you fact check shit? Because I don't know anything. I just have opinions. You don't have to know shit to be angry about shit. And I don't know shit and I'm angry about shit.
That's very true.
So Daddy long legs are
Daddy
evil.
long legs do.
Maybe they're not evil. They're just like they're like the platypus, right? I feel a little bad for throwing platypuses in with spiders and shit, but like a platypus is like an amalgamation of other animals, right? It's got like the beaver thing going on, but it's also a duck, but then it's a mammal, and it's got the little marsupial pouch, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like weird, like it doesn't seem like it would belong. But at least they're adorable, despite being, I think, poisonous.
I think so. I don't remember.
Have you figured it out? What do they do?
So, they eat insects, including birds and spiders.
What? They eat birds?
Apparently so.
How does a daddy longleg eat a bird?
Okay, let me rephrase that. I read that the wrong way.
Oh.
Sorry. They are food for birds and other spiders.
Oh.
Sorry. But sorry.
So are these the deer in this analogy?
Yeah, but they're also decomposers.
Okay.
These arachnids made their living by eating decomposing vegetative and animal matter, although are opportunist predators if they can get away with it. They do not have venom glands, fangs, or any other mechanism for chemically subduing their food. So they don't they can't eat like normal spiders do.
They're predators, but they're like the worst predators.
Yes.
I will eat you if I can. They're like Ewoks. They'll make a little trap, and then when the badger walks through, they'll drop a stone on its head and slowly devour it. I hate that. Deers don't do that. They're not devious. They're just little fluffy woodland creatures that run around.
They also don't eat meat or decompose.
What?
They're
Deer?
not scavenger. I guess technically they are, but they're not scavengers.
Well, they're herbivores.
Yeah.
Unlike daddy longlegs, which are, I guess, omnivores?
They eat decaying matter mostly, so they're just decomposers. They eat whatever they can get their hands on.
They're kind of like a buzzard raccoon, maybe.
Mm.
But both of those I would prefer over something like that. At least a buzzard I can fight. How are you supposed to fight a daddy longleg? Like, I mean, you squish it, but like that thing they're so hard to catch.
Mm.
They move quick. There's a bajillion of them. So you need a flamethrower, if anything, to be able to take them out.
You want to know something that I think needs to die off?
Uh-huh.
The crane fly. Or mosquito eaters.
Is that the one that bites you?
No, they're the mosquito eaters. The
Why?
ones that look like giant mosquitoes that are always like on walls
Oh,
and stuff.
yeah.
Those things are terrifying.
What do those things do? I'll bet they're decomposers,
That's
too.
what I'm looking up right now. It says they don't eat mosquitoes, but they do eat mosquito larvae.
Wow.
But their main source of sustenance is flower nectar.
Cowards. Oh, so they're just stealing from the bumblebees. I hate them even more now.
Yep.
I've seen them outside. I've never actually seen one inside.
I've seen usually if you have a garage, they somehow always make their way inside.
That's true. Yeah. I used to live down in Corpus Christi, and I did see them down there on the inside of the walls.
Yep, and
Or in the garage, at least.
Completely harmless.
No.
They don't bite or sting.
They're not harmless. They harm psyche.
Oh.
They make people afraid.
That's also true.
Traumatic. It's traumatic. They cause psychic
They're way too big.
Cause psychic harmage. Psychic damage is what they do.
Oh, jeez.
Bastards. All of them.
But yeah, bugs are awful, and I hate most of, if not all of them. I only really like butterflies.
Somebody please come to their... Well, bumblebees aren't that bad.
Oh yeah, no, bees are pretty cool.
No, but bumblebees specifically. The honeybee, great little guy.
Oh,
I've seen people...
Do bumblebees also make honey?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Because those are the ones that are just like the really, really fat one.
Yes, bumblebees are just super fat. Yeah. So they're like adorable.
If I had wings, I'd be a bumblebee.
Is that by choice?
Anyways,
It's a weird tangent to go off on and get really pissed off about, but yeah.
No, bumblebees are pretty cool. Especially after watching the Bee movie, everyone's like, "Oh my god, love bumblebees."
Why the Bee movie of all things?
That's the first thing I thought of. Shut up. What other movie do they have about bees? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's not about bees. I'll tell you that much.
No, it does have honey in the name though.
But no, butterflies are cool. I absolutely. What's the word? What's another word for despise, but even worse?
Hate.
What's another word for hate? But even worse.
You have vitriol.
That sounds too I
What
don't
is
know.
it? Daikidai.
I don't know why Daikira. Yep, that's another word for hate. Or that does mean hate, but like I guess I don't want to say repulsed. 'Cause I'm not like grossed out by, but I detest. That's the word I was thinking of.
Sure.
I detest moths. Completely harmless usually,
Yep.
but I hate them and they terrify me.
So they've got. I mean, they also do mothballs stuff. So they just eat shit that's important to us.
Yes,
Like they
and
will
they're
eat clothing.
fucking big for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest moth I've seen. I've showed you the picture of it, right?
Yeah. The one
one
was
in
on
the
his
shoe?
hand. Oh, in his shoe?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So it was when I was living over at Legends, and me and David we were finna go to walk to Walmart, and there was this big ass moth that was just flapping its wings. You can literally hear its wings
Oh,
flapping.
I think.
Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
it was. He caught it with his shoe, and it was the size of his shoe hole opening.
Mm.
And it was, oh god, I hate it. I hate it so much. And
So
then it
those
was
do
dead the
get
next
pretty
day.
big. Yeah.
Huh?
Those do get pretty big.
It was dead the next day, and it was just like dead outside the door. And its wingspan was about this big.
Wow. That's like 4 inches,
Yeah,
3 or 4 inches. Damn.
and its body was huge. And it was like, God, why do you exist? Why do you exist? Why are you alive? I mean,
Yeah.
you're not alive anymore. But who gave you the right? Fuck
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. I've been actually looking into playing that game. Oh. Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
The one where you're small and you're outside. Wow. I've
Oh, I know which
totally.
one you're talking about. I forgot what it's called.
It's like not Undergrowth. That's the one with the rabbits. It's like
Something about grow though, right?
outside or boy.
It's that one survival game where you've been shrunk outside.
Yeah. It looks awesome.
I've seen people play it and it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also terrifying when you have to fight the spider.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's just like
Yeah.
real life. And you think that a lot of there's a lot of the creatures that are also out there that are hostile towards you. Like I wasn't expecting ladybug to fight you, but that's if you make it mad, you're a goner.
There. Yeah. 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 I think if anything, that game is a testament to how evil bugs really are.
I
They
agree.
made a game. You ever have you ever seen Earth Defense Force?
Mm-mm.
It's I think it's an old PlayStation game maybe, but it was like it got maybe 2 releases in Japan, not in Japan in America, but in Japan apparently they've been doing like yearly installments
Mm-hmm.
that they started porting over to Steam. That are it's effectively the same. It's like if you took like Madden or like a soccer game where it's just an iteration of the same thing over and over again with slight minor improvements.
Okay.
If anything, just graphical. And then they did that. And there's like 12 games now. But all you're doing in those games is you're fighting aliens, but the aliens for the most part take on the form of giant insects. So
Okay.
ants, spiders, I forget what else. I think worms are in there as well, like giant earthworms. So there are games out there for people like us and you, dear listener, that just vehemently despise bugs.
Yeah.
Take advantage of the resources.
Bugs that shouldn't be alive. For all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you hear about that shit in Belarus?
What?
That's a current event we could talk about.
What's happening at Belarus?
Yo, that's a no then, to answer my question.
Oh, then you asked if I
Apparently,
wanna...
you know how democracy is the greatest form of government ever invented.
Yes.
You don't sound certain about that.
Um,
What are you, a communist?
I don't get into politics, but continue.
Well, in Belarus, apparently what they're doing is there have been protests. Not quite sure if the protests are over. There's been a lot of protesting going on. I can imagine. I'm sort of getting them mixed up, but I think it's very similar to like what's going on in Hong Kong, where they're sort of fighting for their own democracy.
Yeah.
I think in Belarus they might be overthrowing a dictator or like protesting a dictator or something like that. But the military has been like abducting civilians and like beating the shit out of them.
Oh.
To like stop the riots.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty fucked up. I don't really know where I was going with this. I just wanted to bring it up.
Oh.
Get us off of the topic of bugs.
Yeah, that's
I feel like
definitely
we've tapped that well dry. Yeah, let's talk about politics.
Lord.
Agree? Disagree? Should we beat up? Should we, secret police style, SS, grab them, drag them into rooms, interrogate, waterboard, break teeth? You know, no democracy for you.
I mean,
I'm glad we live in America.
It's not much better here.
We don't get snatched off the street by shit.
Oh no, we don't get snatched off the street. We get shot in the street.
Yes, I've actually been seeing some stuff about where was it? That they were actually in unmarked vans, was like plainclothes officers were abducting people off the street. They've stopped doing that, I think, or they're doing it better and nobody can tell.
Hopefully they stop, because that sounds... Ooh, excuse me. Hopefully they stop, because that just sounds terrible.
It does sound... It's terrifying. Yeah. I have, for the most part, avoided like the horrific events of like famous videos. I have never seen the 9/11 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Like the footage. I've seen like a photo, right?
Oh, I was forced to watch. Well, not forced to, but they showed it to us multiple times during school.
In school, I imagine that's yeah. Like I've avoided that. Like the famous like ISIS beheadings, avoided that shit like the plague.
Those.
2 Girls 1 Cup, avoided that shit like the plague. The what is it? Human centipede? Nope.
Seen that.
There are some things I draw the line on that I just don't think. I think I will become a worse person for having seen.
I'll tell you that for Human Centipede, at the very least, I don't remember the first one.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't memorable at all to me, or if I even watched that one, I don't even remember. I have to talk to Chanel about that one.
Yeah,
but we watched the second one, and I think what they did was the first one was just kind of like based on a concept, like of here's this concept or this idea that somebody has, and why it could or couldn't work. But the second one is actually made like a horror film. And it's about this guy. Spoilers, by the way. This guy who got inspired by the people from the first one because he was watching the documentary film or whatever about it. And he's like, I think he might have a mental disability or something. But he's like, that could actually work because I don't think he speaks in the whole film. But he basically is like, I'm gonna create my own Human Centipede and it's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
But that one's made a lot more horrific from what I remember, at least. Because the first one was kind of like made in like a documentary, scientific kind of setting, I believe. But the second one is made in like a random abandoned warehouse with people he like picked up off the street, or like some people in his life he like knocked out and he forced them to do this.
Oh, gotcha.
And then like think they die or something, or like one or more of them gets away, one of them is pregnant, stuff like that. It's a lot of gore too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that one's much more of a thriller than the first one, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, there's just some shit I won't watch.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't think the people that have watched it are like, I don't look down on them.
Yeah.
But I don't think personally, I think the benefits. Or not the benefits. I think the detriments far outweigh the benefits.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like, I don't want to imagine that that shit. Like, just thinking about, from what I've heard, like 2 Girls 1 Cup, like, I kind of gag just thinking about that.
I feel that. I watched it, like a couple of years ago, actually. Just because I had the fear of missing out.
It's on the internet. It will always be there.
I know. But it's also because I'm the kind of person who's like, I like to do things for the experience.
Sure.
So like, it was just like, why, or like, I knew what was gonna happen in it, but it's just kind of like a curiosity kind of thing for me. And I played into it finally, because I could have done it as long time ago as when it came out, but at that time I was just like, because I think what happened was, I was on, I think, Reddit or something, and somebody had linked one of those shock websites.
Oh yeah.
So I went to that, and then it reminded me of that. I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing. And so I was like, well, I mean, might as well go down the rabbit hole now, not have to worry about it later.
Yep. See, that's not what I do.
I know.
I just wouldn't. Like people have brought it up, and then it's like you haven't seen it. Like no. And you're not going to show it to me, are you?
And it's probably people who are our age, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just like what
What's
I was
what?
talking
Yeah,
about
like
earlier.
someone my dad's age would go, "You haven't seen Two Girls, One Cup?
It's just
Oh, you're
like it's like
missing
what I was
out."
talking about earlier with the whole, teenagers do stupid stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
With the whole all those challenges that they do, these shock sites that came up, stuff like that. It's just like for a lot of people, I guess it's kind of like a rite of passage kind of thing.
Oh boy.
And if you haven't done that, then it's like, did you really live in the same time period I did, kind of
This is
thing?
why I'm not a joiner. I don't join shit.
Mm.
I do things on my own.
I usually just like
I'm not a joiner.
stay in my room.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yeah, I'd like to think I am the Batman
of course you
of
do.
my Justice League.
Of course.
Right? I don't want to be. I think my favorite person will be the Flash. Just putting that out there. But I
As it
think
should
I am
be.
early Justice League Batman. Do my own shit. If you need me, I have an experience tool set that I will lend to you. But I am not going to be beck and call for your weird organization to do whatever you want. The last organization I was part of was the Boy Scouts. And we quit that shit. I think I was 80% of the way through and just out.
But you only went you were only a week in the Boy Scout?
What?
Is that what you said?
No, we were 80% of the way to Eagle Scout.
Wait,
That was
how
what I
does
was.
that system work?
What do you mean, how does it work?
Like what? Explain the Boy Scout.
Okay, sure.
The hierarchy.
Typically you'll start as a Cub Scout, younger. So like I think the earliest age for Boy Scouts is maybe 10 or maybe like 12.
Okay.
Before that you're in the Cub Scouts, and so you get to do all that shit. And I wasn't in the Cub Scouts. I don't know anything about that. My little brother was. But when you join the Boy Scouts, you start off as a tenderfoot. There's like classes that I think it's like tenderfoot, Scout, which I think they rebranded Scout to something else. But it goes tenderfoot, Scout, second class, first class, Star, Life, and then Eagle. And you work your way up by completing tasks. So like in order to go from tenderfoot to Scout, which is, level 2, you have to do a certain amount of merit badges, which is courses. It's basically like school, but for outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
So like I had to there was the fishing merit badge where you learn how to fish, you learn about rods and lures and how to catch a fish and how to skin a fish, cook a fish, and eat a fish, all in one go, and like how to dispose of it after you're done and not die on a bone, all the way up to one of them that I did was soldering. I created a little motherboard, right? Or not a motherboard. I created a circuit, effectively. It was like, yeah, here is your plastic board. Here are the things you will need, and here's your soldering gun, Mr. 14-year-old child. And then, you know what a soldering gun is?
Mm-mm.
It's like a little, a glue gun, a hot glue gun?
Yeah.
It's like that, but with metal.
Oh.
So you basically, I forget exactly what we were building. I think it was like a little light, and then it was like you had to make a circuit to a button, right? And then you could button, and then it would turn on the light, and you connect it to a battery and all that shit. So I remember, yeah. So it's varying stuff, mountaineering, skydiving merit badge, which I don't think you actually skydive for. I don't even know if that's a real one, but it's a various things.
Yeah.
So you do that, and then there's a couple of other things you have to do, like memorize the code of honor or scouts, whatever. That I don't remember at this point. It's been way too long since I did that. You do that up through the ranks till you get to like Life, and then you have to do all that shit, and then you have a time period as well. So it's like artificial loading zones.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, if you've completed all this stuff, you just have to be here for 6 months. Then you can become an Eagle Scout. And you have to do all this shit before you're 18. Which the people that I was with, a lot of them struggled with that last bit. A lot of them would be like, yeah, I have to do this, and then I have like a 2-week window where I'll become an Eagle Scout. And then in order to become an Eagle Scout, you have to have done all that other shit, and then you have to do I forget what they're called, an Eagle Project. You have to in some way help your community. As I never got there, I never had to worry about that, but other people Like we painted a youth center, the inside of a youth center that needed redone. We repainted that. Planted trees was another one. Cleaned up a river, I think, was another one that we did. So you had to do stuff like that. And once you become Eagle, then you can either go, I think you can either choose to join the Venture Scouts, which are like adult scouts, and they do more insane stuff like actual skydiving or whitewater rafting and stuff. But yeah, that's basically how the Boy Scouts work. At least that's how it worked when I was in them. As I understand it, they've rebranded themselves to just Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're gender inclusive now because they weren't before. There was the Girl Scouts and then there was the Boy Scouts. I think the Girl Scouts are still their own thing, but the Boy Scouts are now just Scouts, as I understand it. And the reason we left, I forget the exact reason we left. I think it was because of the pedophilia bit.
Oh.
Not the pedophilia. Yeah, I guess it was a pedophilia. Yeah. Well, you have to imagine a bunch of adult men taking a bunch of young children, boys, into the woods for like 3 days. Some shady shit went on.
Yeah.
I'm amazed some of us didn't die, but in where I particularly was, there wasn't any of that.
Mm-hmm.
It was just in like other chapters. I imagine it's sort of like the Catholic Church. But like I've been to Catholic churches, not very often, but I've been to Catholic churches and I couldn't imagine that stuff going on.
Yeah.
But clearly it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like, it's not an exception that proves the rule. It's like, oh, our church is fine. It's just everywhere else. I was like, yeah, my troop was fine. But then again, I was like 12. It wasn't as though it's like, that guy's acting fishy. Why is he taking that child into the restroom? Like shit like that didn't go on. Or I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about my old troops being like that. Outside of a little bit of a drug problem in the one where I was, it was a military. It was when I was in Japan. There were, I think I've told you. I don't know if I've talked about it on here, but my high school we didn't have a problem with alcohol. We had a problem with hard drugs.
God damn.
A lot of places have alcohol issues, but due to the fact that we were in another country, the locals didn't give a shit like your age. I went out drinking when I was, I think, 17 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
With my older brother and a friend that we just went to one of the local bars that was like down the street from us, one of the local Japanese bars, and just like, oh, you have money? Thanks. Here's your drinks. Yeah. So it's like a thing that's like, because it's not taboo, right? It's free flowing. You can go get alcohol if you want. You can't get drugs very well. So that became the important thing. That became our booze. Yeah. And I didn't even know it was a big problem until I think I was a junior and like somebody like brought it up. And like, it was like, yeah, a friend of mine like OD'd the other day, and I went, what the fuck? What do you mean? Like, yeah, it's no big deal. It happens all the time here. I went, what do you mean it happens all the time here? I've never seen this. But, being me, it's not like I would have picked up on that shit anyway.
Yeah, you're a little different.
Yeah. The school, yeah. High school was a trip, man. It was a trip. We had a zone that there was a part of the school that was like, it was out back behind the school. There wasn't any nobody was over there. Apparently that's where the people did it. Yeah.
Oh.
It was on the backside. All that was behind it was jungle. It was like I think it was a road that went up to a maintenance building for like the local power generator that we were right next to. And between that was just jungle and poisonous snakes. So it was like you could go there and you'd be fine. Nobody would ever see you. So, yeah. Fortunately, I never went over there because I didn't know the right people. I say fortunately.
I was going to say.
But, or wait, what did I say? Did I say unfortunately?
You said fortunately.
Fortunately, I never went over there because I didn't know the right people. Yes, yes, that is correct.
You sure?
I thought I said it the other way. It was like, I wish I could have done some hard drugs when I was in high school. But no. I really have no desire to do. I've heard. Let me just keep talking, shall I? I've heard.
I mean, I didn't want to stop you.
Do you want to pitch in at any point? Yeah,
I mean,
my
you were
high
telling
school
your
was pretty
life
fucked
story.
up
I
too.
didn't want to just be like, that's cool and all, but here's the tea.
This is really fucked up. Oh my god. No, but like I've heard things about I think heroin was the one that sounded amazing. That like the way it was described, it's like a full body orgasm.
Oh my, okay.
For an extended period of time. So like if you can imagine that feeling, extend it out beyond the 7-10 seconds, however long it lasts normally.
As a man, yes.
Yeah. Like, is that not something like I can totally see why people get addicted to that?
I mean,
I can see people getting addicted to like, the like pornography addiction because they're chasing that momentary high. If you're able to get that for an extended amount of the dopamine. Yeah. If you're able to get that feeling for so long, like I totally see it. Outside of the horrific detrimental effects that it has to your body.
I mean, that's what addiction does to you.
Yep.
You know all the negatives that it can and / are happening.
Yeah.
But you're like, it's worth it.
It's worth it for that high, man.
I don't know. I mean, personally,
I do heroin. Fuck it. I got some here. Pink, pink, pink.
No, I don't know. For me,
Here, tie my arm off.
Aside from like in elementary school and maybe middle school, when they were really pushing the don't do drugs, kids, be drug free. If anybody offers you drugs, just say no.
Just say no. Yeah,
everybody's gone through that here in America. But they didn't really, teach us about the effects of drugs and stuff like that. They're just like, drugs are bad, and you gotta believe us.
Yep.
And so I grew up like that. But as an adult, it's just like, even if I wasn't taught to say no to drugs, I don't think I would have said yes anyways. But also the fact that they make it seem like as you get older, you're going to be peer pressured into doing drugs by all these people.
Yep.
And first, if you're in the wrong crowd, then yeah, it'll probably happen. Possibly. But if you're just hanging out and doing nothing, nobody's going to come up to you and just be like, hey, you want to do some drugs with me? You want to do some meth? First of all, drugs are expensive.
Yeah.
They're going to want you to pay them for that.
I think it's the first taste is free. And then it's like after that. Yeah. But like if they're just giving out shit to everybody, they are not going to last in the industry for very long.
Not only that, that's shady. There's something wrong with that.
Yeah.
If they're just giving out to anybody.
Yep.
I mean, I guess it's different for like weed, I guess, since people are used to like smoking that with other people, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of smoking. And I've tried it and it's just like, not for me,
Yeah.
But the other ones, the more hardcore ones, I don't think I'll ever want to try those, just because it's like, first of all, I don't want to like take the chance of getting addicted because I don't know, like actually, because they say you do it one time, you'll be addicted to it.
Yeah.
And since I haven't done anything like serious or hardcore like that, it's like I don't want to take that chance. But it's also just like I don't feel like it's worth it. Just for me at least. And it can be worth it for other people. I'm not saying, being addicted is a wrong thing because it's something you can't really help sometimes.
Yeah.
But for me it's just like I think I'm pretty okay with how my life is at the moment.
I agree. Yeah.
And I already spend money willy-nilly. I don't need to add drugs to that list of money.
The same reason I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have the funds nor the time to support you, my drug addiction.
I don't wish I could say the same. I mean, if you get the right person, they'll just be like, you don't have to spend this money on me. And it's like,
the problem is you're gay.
So?
Not a dig. You've got a dude. You've got a dude on the other end of it. There is social stigmatism pointed towards us that we have to buy shit.
I mean, listen, I hear what you're saying. But if you get the right woman...
Yes, if I was able to find the right woman that would be like, no, we're either going 50-50 or I'm going to be your sugar...
Mama? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
Or sugar mommy. Yeah, mama's better. Much better.
Whoa, all right. Okay, calm down over there.
First of all, that just felt so wrong to say.
Sugar mommy. Oh. Like,
I was like,
hard R right there, man. Calm down.
My body like physically cringed when I said that.
Yeah.
Oh boy. But
yeah. I don't think personally. I think I don't think I would ever get into a sugar relationship.
I feel
Period.
that. I agree with that.
On any end, because I feel like it's just very scummy all around.
Not only is it scummy, it just feels not real to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because people have tried to scam me with that multiple times already.
Really?
Yeah, like on those dating apps.
Oh
Stuff
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
like, hey, you need somebody to be your sugar daddy, or it's like, I want you to be my sugar baby. I want to pay for all your expenses. So
Yeah,
all
I
I
thought.
ask of you is that you be honest with me and treat me this kind of way, blah blah blah. And early on, before I even knew that this was a real thing,
Yeah.
like a real scam, thankfully I was smart enough to not be like, I'm not gonna send them my information.
Wait, I thought you were gonna take it in the other direction. You wanted to be your sugar baby, but you people
No.
are offering you money.
Well, there's all scams. So yes.
Hmm.
I mean, it would be nice to be a sugar baby, yeah.
Yeah. All you need to do is return affection, which is like a relationship that you're getting paid for.
Yeah.
So it's like a regular relationship is a job that you don't get paid for. A sugar baby is a relationship where it's a job and you get paid for it.
Mm-hmm. And
it's
then
like if you
just
can
gotta
get
wait long
over-
enough for them to die of mysterious causes.
Yep, leave you in their will.
Exactly.
Bingo. Suddenly you own a mansion in Beverly Hills.
And then you go into foreclosure very soon after.
Yeah.
Because you realize that they didn't have as much money as you thought they did.
And the government then taxes you, and then suddenly you're homeless.
And then they're also coming at you with insurance fraud.
Yep. They're like, you didn't even know him. Like, I knew him. I knew his bank details.
What do you mean? We've been in an online relationship for the last 4 years.
Yeah. I've sent him pictures of my feet like twice a week. Is that
Twice
not
a
enough
week?
to know a guy?
Yeah, he gave me $16,000 a week. I would say 1,600, but I mean same thing.
Big difference between 600 and 60,000, but all right.
Yeah.
All right, well, might as well call it there, huh?
All right, I'm so tired.
So thanks for tuning in.
Again.
And I had to get my goddamn car towed out of the fucking... Okay, we should really cut it before I go off on a rant about illegally towing cars, you assholes!
Are you okay?